I haven't shaved in a few days. It's not looking good, is it? Right. Hello and welcome back to the Villa View. Aston Villa have signed Glenn Whelan, who becomes our fourth signing of the window so far. Let's see what we think about it. On the face of it, it looks uninspiring. It doesn't look great. And I must admit, I thought that as well at first, but I'm starting to come around to the idea, and there's a few reasons as to why I think that he could actually turn it to be a really good piece of business for us for the next season or so. He may be 33 years old, but he's got a vast amount of experience. He still played a big part in Stoke City's season last term, and also played a big part in Republic of Ireland's qualifying under Martin O'Neill. So it's not like this guy has been knocking around on the bench at Stoke. He's still a seasoned professional who's playing games at the top level of the English game. Many fans have sort of questioned it and gone, oh, boring, don't need him. And I was one of them that thought, oh, no, I don't know why we need him. But then looking more deeper, I can see why. He's a sitting midfielder. And looking at the way Steve Bruce wants to play, he wants to go with the 5-3-2 or the 3-5-2, meaning you need a good sitting midfielder that can do the job of breaking up play and hopefully distributing the ball out wide. We've got Miliednak that does that job, but Miliednak currently travels back to Australia for games for his country more or less every other month as such when there's an international game. And that's not good because he needs a bit of time for recovery and he's not always recovered in time for a game day. If we've got somebody like Glenn Whelan in the squad, we can rotate between the two of them. And I think that's a really important thing, is keeping it fresh. If you keep your players fresh when you've got 2 games a week, having 2 good sitting defensive midfielders such as those are really important. Miliednak and Glenn Whelan together would be a horrific idea. I can't imagine anything worse because it'd be so defensively shaped and so slow in midfield. But having one of them to tick the ball over and keep the game going is what we need. Something that can break it up and really do something with the ball. A few of you have been saying a few things in the comments sections on YouTube in the past few weeks about signing a player like Glenn Whelan, and the same on Twitter when I had a few discussions with a few people. One of the first one we had in was actually a few weeks ago from a Stoke fan I know called Jake, who said that Glenn Whelan is an amazing player that's horrendously underrated. I think he must be, because he's played over 250 games for Stoke City, and you don't play that many games, especially in the Premier League, without having something about you. And the fact that he's still a Republic of Ireland international and captain of the Republic of Ireland really suggests that this guy has still got a lot to offer us in the role that we really want him to do, and that's in that sitting midfield role. Other comments have said that he's a good signing, great experience, another leader in the squad. Great addition to the squad, good experience. People have said about Barry as well. Scott touches on this. Barry was never going to happen. I don't think it realistically was, because he's still in Ronald Koeman's plans, for one. And secondly, I think that he can still break that barrier of being the player to hit the 700 appearances in the Premier League, and he really wants to do that. And I'd never restrict him from wanting to do that. And really, unrealistic aims to sign him, perhaps, but then again, who knows? People moan at it. It's not a glamour signing. Squad needs depth, though, and he's a good addition for the cost. Yeah, I think that's probably right as well, in fairness, that this is a guy that's come quite cheap to us. And when you're signing players so cheap, expectations are low. And if your expectations are low, typically it means there's plenty of room for this player to do a lot for us. I mean, really, what else have we had in midfield in terms of somebody that can break up the play in recent years? But Miliednak is that player that we cried out for last season, and now we've got 2 of them that can rotate, and I think that's really important for the squad depth. There's a good counter-argument, though, for the signing of Glenn Whelan, and that is the idea of this building for the future, which is a thing that many fans have sort of skirted over, including myself, I'll admit that. And there's been a suggestion of building 3 teams, one to get us promoted, one to sustain us in the Premier League, and one us to actually go on then in the Premier League and do something. Now, this isn't building for the future. This has been touched on by Darren Healy, that says it's bringing in players that age sends the wrong message. John Terry, Glenn Whelan, good players, but doesn't suggest we're building for the future. Yeah, I think that's the case. I don't think Glenn Whelan's going to be a mainstay at Villa Park. He's 33 years old. And if he can get us to the Premier League, it's quite easy to just let him go in a year or 2 time when his time has come, when he may want to retire or maybe move to, say, the MLS, for example. We've got that option when you're spending so little on the player. There's little investment in him needed, and he's low maintenance as well, hopefully. This is a comment that's come from YouTube by Cybered and Blue, who said, I'd rather see us sign some of the younger players we've mentioned in videos previously, such as the likes of Ryan Woods, but going in for the likes of Glenn Whelan at Stoke could only give ever a temporary stopgap, realistically anyway. Yeah, it's a temporary stopgap. As I've touched on previously, it's a short-term sighted view. But really, at this moment in time, we've invested quite a lot of money already in this squad, and how much more do we actually have to play with on the lines of FFP? How much do we actually have to play with money-wise? If we can pick up a player like Glenn Whelan that can do it for one season, I've touched on, I'm okay with that. But if we continue to do this and heavily invest in these sort of players, then I'm concerned. We've got to build for the future, and if we're signing any more players at this sort of age range, then it's a problem. But for me, I don't think it's a problem with Glenn Whelan, just because he's such a small marginal fee, and it's quite easy to say goodbye to him in a year or so's time if he's done what he's come to do, and that is to help protect the defence, rotate with Jedinak, and really offer us something in that sitting midfield role to allow the likes of Conor Horan or Henry Lansbury to explore and have the shackles off. This midfield needs to have their shackles off, and at the moment we haven't had that in the last few years, especially in the last campaign where the likes of Horan was restricted in midfield when he really shouldn't have been as one of the best players in the league. Same with Henry Lansbury. Both players have had their shackles firmly tightened since coming to Villa Park because of Jedinak role in the team and the way we've sort of gone with the system. So now we've got the rotation option. Hopefully it'll allow the shackles to come off the likes of Conor Horan and Henry Lansbury, for example. These players have got more freedom now, hopefully, to push on further forwards up the pitch. So if you have enjoyed this video, then please do drop us that like below, commenting your thoughts on the signing of Glenn Whelan. And if you are new to the Villa View, then please do subscribe with your post notifications on, and I promise I'll have a shave for the next video as well. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another one? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. And don't forget to subscribe. Click on our logo there on the left and press subscribe. Easy.